These are 10 sneakers that are available for under retail right now in November 2024. The first honorable mention is the yet to be released Air Jordan 3 Black Cement. I know, the shoe hasn't even come out yet, but there has already been an early drop on the sneakers app, which means that pairs of these are going for around retail. And I'm sure by the time this shoe actually releases, prices will probably drop even more. That being said, I don't know if this shoe will actually ever go for under retail because even though there's a lot of pairs of these, it's one of the most hyped up releases of the year. So that's why one of my favorite releases of 2024 is an honorable mention, because this shoe is fire and I think it's gonna sell out, but you could probably get it for around retail on resale sites, especially right now through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. In fact, you can grab any of the shoes that I mentioned in today's video through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen because they're all under retail and they're all great. And you can find them all for great prices right there. But whether you grab the shoe for retail on release day or grab it early for around retail, I think that the Air Jordan 3 Black Cement is genuinely one of the best releases in a long time, and that's because it's one of the most iconic sneakers of all time. Sure, some people prefer some of the other OG colorways, like maybe the Fire Reds or the White Cement, but for me, the only OG colorway that I want every time it releases is the Black Cement 3. Plus, the 2024 release, like the 2018 release, also has the Nike Air on the heel. And actually, speaking of the Black Cement 3s, if you want to win a pair of these for free, I've made sure to leave the third core badge, which you need to enter the giveaway, through the link in the top of the description below. And just in case you didn't know about this giveaway, I'm giving away a pair of Black Cement 3s through core. All you need to do is collect all 4 core badges. They're all linked through different YouTube videos on my channel, and they're all pretty recent, so if you go back through my older videos, you can definitely find those links. But you need all 4 badges to enter the giveaway. The 4th badge will be dropping soon, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But this video has the 3rd badge linked in the top of the description below. While a lot of people have kind of fallen out of love with sneakers because the hype just isn't there the way that it used to be, one thing that I really love about this current sneaker market is that you can buy crazy pairs of sneakers that years ago would have gone for hundreds of dollars over retail, for retail or below. And this is one of those shoes, and I really think the Black Cement 3s are one of the best releases of the year. The second honorable mention is the Air Jordan 11 Legend Blue. I know, another super early pair of sneakers, but another pair of shoes which is currently sitting around retail on resale sites right now, like a month before they release. And like the Black Cement 3s, this is an iconic colorway on an iconic silhouette. The Legend Blue 11s are another one of those colorways that just don't come around often. I think the last time we got a retro of this exact silhouette was back in 2014 when I couldn't grab a pair, unfortunately. There has been a low version since then, but that doesn't really count. I love the super clean white and translucent blue look. You've got leather on the upper, then patent leather along the bottom half of the upper, and then of course your semi-translucent blue outsole. And again, while the shoe is retailing for $230, which is a lot, you can find it on resale sites right now for just about that. So if you want to grab this shoe early and have it before anybody else, check it out through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. But then getting into the actual under retail list at number 10, we've got the New Balance 9060s in black Castle Rock gray. The 9060s are one of the most popular silhouettes out there right now, and by far one of New Balance's best-selling shoes. The style of the sneaker is inspired by the New Balance 990 line with some modernization sort of twisted in there. It's a wild-looking lifestyle sneaker that people seem to love. And because the silhouette has been out for a couple years now and we've gotten a bunch of solid colorways of this shoe, some colorways are going for well under retail online. For example, this black Castle Rock gray colorway, which is actually one of the most popular colorways, retailing for $150. You can grab it right now for like $110 on places like StockX. Why is it so cheap? I don't know. It's not on sale at stores. Maybe people are buying it, then deciding to return it, but then they can't return it, so their only option is to sell it online for cheaper. I'm not totally sure, but either way, if you grab the shoe online on resale sites, you can save like $35 to $40. Personally, I love the 9060s. They're comfortable, they look good, they're one of those shoes that's easy to throw on with anything, and I'm a big New Balance fan, so I just really like anything New Balance. But this colorway in particular is great because it's sort of a mix of black and dark gray, so you get some contrast in the upper, but not too much. It's still understated. It's an awesome looking pair of shoes, and for like $115, you cannot go wrong. Number 9, the Adidas Fear of God Athletics 1 Basketball in Carbon. Jerry Lorenzo started an incredibly popular fashion line called Fear of God, who collaborated with Nike a couple years ago, and those shoes all immediately sold out, at least most of them. After his contract with Nike ended, he got an even bigger contract with Adidas, and he launched his own Fear of God basketball line. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's just because sneakers aren't as hyped as they used to be, or maybe the retail price was high, the line just didn't really move. Sure, certain colorways sold out, but apparently now Fear of God sneakers are showing up at the Adidas outlet, which is wild. And one of the first shoes and colorways to drop the Fear of God 1 basketballs in the carbon colorway, and now a little less than a year after release of the Fear of God 1 basketballs, you can find colorways of this shoe on StockX for well under retail. For example, the carbon colorway for $105, at least in a size 9. This shoe retailed for $250. You're saving $145. For a really decent shoe in my opinion. I actually really like the Fear of God 1 basketballs. In fact, no matter what size of this shoe that you're looking for, you can find it for under retail online. Sure, certain sizes are slightly more expensive, like I think a size 13 is like $168, but that's still almost $100 under retail. It's a solid sneaker, and actually a lot of the other colorways are also going for under retail. Now, not as cheap as this colorway. I think this is the cheapest colorway that was dropped, but you can find pretty much any of the colorways online right now for a really good price. Let me pull up one of the rarer ones. You've got the Miami Carbon colorway on sale right now for $235 in a size 9.5. That colorway sold out immediately. You've got the white colorway, which sold out immediately as well for, $16 over retail. I mean, it's kind of wild. The limited edition Sesame colorway, which I actually had a pair of, $235, but $3 over retail. I mean, they're not going for much. Number 8, the Balvin Air Jordan 2. This shoe was by far the most expensive shoe of any shoe on the list when it first released back in 2022 for a retail price of $300. $300 for a pair of Air Jordan 2s. I mean, sure, some of the Just-Ons retailed for $600, but they came with a hat. This one had a light-up tongue. And that was about it. Now, to be fair, the light-up tongue was awesome. I really liked it a lot, and it charged when you walked like a watch. Super cool. But $300 was a lot. It also wasn't a bad looking shoe. It came with the ripstop upper with these rainbow stitching details. You also had like this cloud detail on the heel counter. It was sick, but $300 still is a pretty big pill to swallow. That said, at the time, it completely sold out. So it didn't seem to deter people that much. But obviously the hype is not really stuck around on this shoe because the drop from retail price to the current resale price of this shoe is almost unbelievable. I've never seen a drop this large. So again, the retail price of this shoe is $300. You can now find pairs of these for under $100. A size 9 on StockX is $96. $96. $204 cheaper than what it retailed for. I didn't even realize the price was this cheap. I was just going through a list of shoes that were under retail on StockX's website preparing for this video, and I saw that and I was like, there's no way. I might genuinely grab a pair. And it looks like all the other sizes are good prices too. In fact, if you guys want to check out the other sizes, YouTube shopping tab right there. But they're all pretty solid. I mean, none are more than $250. There's one size that's $250, but that's size 16. Everything else is under $200. 2 years ago when this shoe released, I never would have guessed. $96. Number 7, the New Balance 1906R in white and metallic gold. I'm pretty sure this shoe in this exact colorway was number 1 on my list of the top 10 New Balance sneakers of 2024. I'm like almost certain. It's an awesome shoe, and even for the retail price of $155, it's still not a bad deal. The New Balance 1906R is not only a good-looking pair of sneakers with some really interesting paneling, especially in the metallic silvers, but it also is very comfortable on foot. And this colorway in particular, I'm all about. I think it's super clean, super wearable, and a lot of people nowadays seem to be picking this shoe in this colorway, or really any of the other 1906Rs, over pairs of Jordans. Like, Jordans are no longer the top of the food chain. But what's great is that if you want this shoe in this colorway, you can pick it up right now on StockX for around $110, depending on your size. It's a dope shoe. I really like it a lot. The colorway is clean, it's super wearable. You can't go wrong with it. And it's really nice, saving like $40. Number 6, the Nike Dunk Low Michigan State. Remember when dunks were like crazy popular back in like 2020? This colorway in particular was going for like $300, $400, which is wild. More than the Pandas, which at some resale stores was like $350, so at least $300. And looking at it now, you realize how simple of a colorway it actually is. It's a white dunk with a green overlay. And it's very clean, I'm not gonna lie, but is it $350 clean? I don't know. I'm sure I have a video from like 2021 or 2022, whenever this shoe first released, where I'm like, oh, this shoe's so crazy fire. Which, I mean, I still think it's clean. I still think it's very fire, but I was definitely letting the hype get to me a little bit. So this shoe re-released in 2024 for a retail price of $115, but you can grab pairs right now online for just $70. $70 for possibly one of the most hyped up colorways of the Nike Dunk Lows ever. I'm looking through all the sizes. There are no sizes over $100, not even a size 15. A size 15 is $93. I get that Nike Dunk hype just isn't there anymore, but this is still an incredibly clean colorway, and if you've wanted this pair for a couple years, now is absolutely the time to grab it, especially when it's $30 under retail in some cases, and hundreds of dollars under what it was reselling for 2 years ago. It's a tempting deal. I already have enough dunks, but it is a tempting deal. Number 5, the Jordan 9 Olive. So the olive colorway on the Air Jordan 9s is one of the OG colorways of the shoe, and presumably one of the most popular colorways of the shoe. However, when it retroed like 10 days ago, the shoe didn't really sell out. In fact, a lot of pairs are actually sitting at retailers, which usually means that the resale price online is going to be significantly cheaper, and that definitely is the case with this shoe. So the Olive 9s have a retail price of $210, and you can find pairs right now on StockX for between $180 to $200. Most sizes are going for closer to $180, but if you're looking for like bigger sizes or significantly smaller sizes, they do get a bit more expensive, but pretty much all of them are under retail. All right, well, according to StockX, like the 15, 16, 17s aren't, but like most other pairs are. It's one of those colorways that even with Jordan sneakers not really moving the way that they used to, I'm still kind of surprised that it didn't fly off shelves. It's black, it's green, it's a great colorway for winter. The Air Jordan 9 is a somewhat popular silhouette. I would have thought it would have done better, but what are the Powder 9s doing? Because didn't they drop in 2024 as well? Yo, size 9's going for 136 bucks. Yo, that's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Olive 9s do that as well. And if you guys want to check the resale price of the Olive 9s at the time that you're watching this video, click the link right there to the YouTube shopping tab. Maybe grab a pair for yourself if you want it. I think they're fire. I think even if you pay retail for it, it's not that bad of a deal because it's such a clean shoe, but I'm sure you can find them cheaper right there. Number 4, the Concepts Nike Air Max 1 SP Mellow. So back in 2022, Concepts, the Boston-based boutique, released a collaboration with Nike on a few different pairs and colorways of the Nike Air Max 1s. And while at the time all of these colorways were very popular, it became apparent that some colorways were more popular than others. Essentially, the concept behind this collaboration was to take a bunch of different materials and patterns and combine them together in this really interesting sort of what the look. And while it seems like all three colorways in some ways are under retail, the Mellow colorway is by far the cheapest. Depending on your size, you can grab pairs of these for like 110 bucks, which is wild for a shoe that was one of the most hyped up releases of 2022. Now, to be fair, once you get to size like 11.5 up to size 14, prices do get closer to $180, $200, but even then, you're still hovering it around retail, so it's still, in my opinion, a good deal. The only colorway of the bunch that's going for over retail is the Far Out colorway, which is more of a purple vibe. I guess it doesn't look that similar to the other two colorways. That's probably why it's the most popular. But they're all fire, and I really like the Mellow colorway a lot, so that's a colorway that I would grab because it's so much cheaper. Number 3, the Nike Zoom Vomero 5 designed by Japan. So this shoe is technically a women's only colorway, but it does come in extended sizing, which means it goes all the way up to a size 15 men. And as recently as earlier this year, this shoe was selling for well over retail, but now, for whatever reason, the price has plummeted. But even with this precipitous price drop, it's still an excellent sneaker, and there's a couple reasons why. The first is that it's a Nike Zoom Vomero 5, one of the most comfortable and wearable sneakers that Nike makes currently. It's wild that a running sneaker from the mid-2000s that wasn't designed to be like a signature athlete shoe like a pair of Jordans, just a running sneaker from the 2000s is now one of the most popular silhouettes. Crazy, but it kind of makes sense because the shoe looks good and it feels amazing on foot. Secondly, the design of this colorway is awesome. It doesn't look like the standard Nike Zoom Vomero 5s. There have been some changes made that are reminiscent to a pair of off-white shoes. This could have been an off-white collaboration in a lot of ways. But it is in a lot of ways a pretty big change up from the regular Nike Zoom Vomero 5s, and I've also got to say the colorway is very clean and incredibly wearable. Now, I don't have a pair of that colorway personally. I have the Supersonic colorway, which we actually talked about in last month's episode. Another pair which was going for well over retail and now is going for not well under retail, but definitely under retail. So really, no matter what colorway of the Zoom Vomero 5s you're looking for, you can grab them for great prices. And in a lot of ways, this Made by Japan colorway is an even better deal than some of the other Vomero 5 colorways because it was priced so much higher. It retailed for $180, but now you can find pairs in almost every size for between $130 to $150. If you're going for smaller sizes, it's closer to like 90 bucks. Kind of a wild deal, if you ask me. The Nike Zoom Vomero 5 is an incredible sneaker, and I think you should try it out if you haven't yet. Number 2, the Adidas Yeezy 350 Pirate Black. I can't say I'm not totally surprised that this shoe's going for under retail, but it is wild to see a shoe that less than 10 years ago was going for $2,000 now go for like 160 bucks. So this technically third re-release of the Pirate Black 350s dropped last year and completely sold out. I think the pair that I bought for my review was like $600, so even last year it was still going for a decent amount of money. But now that the Adidas and Yeezy drama has all sort of cleared up at this point, and the style doesn't seem to be knit sneakers as much as it used to be, this sneaker is selling for well under retail, which by the way was $230, not cheap. And depending on size, it seems like the price for these 350s hovers between $160 and $180, some extremes closer to $200, like if it's a size 15 or something like that, but pretty much every size is well under retail, like $50 under retail. I'm actually interested to see what the turtle doves are doing right now. Let's see, 350. All right, those are going for more like $330. So if you want a pair of the OG 350s, grab the Pirate Blacks. They look amazing, and they're only 170 bucks, which is wild. Number 1, the Air Jordan 4 Fear. This shoe kind of took me by surprise. It released this past weekend for $215, and while I didn't think this shoe was going to resell for hundreds of dollars over retail, I thought it would at least sell out. But I was wrong. 4 days after release, it is still sitting in a lot of different places, and you can find pretty much any size you're looking for retail. But why pay retail when you can pay under retail? And this is one of those shoes that I don't think you're going to regret if you grab it for under retail. So most sizes available on StockX are going for like $200 to $205 right now, which is not a huge discount under retail, but it is something. And I definitely think over the next couple weeks to couple months, the shoe will continue to drop in price. At least that's my guess. I don't know for sure. But it's one of those shoes that whether you grab it now for $200 or possibly in a month or two for $190, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. I do think it's a shoe that you really won't regret grabbing because it is one of the best Air Jordan 4 releases of the year, in my opinion. It's crazy to see how much the market has dropped for Air Jordan 4s across across the board. This was a shoe that a year ago would have been going for like $300, and now you can get it for under retail. Of course, if you want to grab the Fear 4s or just check the resale price, click that link to the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. I definitely recommend picking this shoe up. But in case you are not familiar with the Fear 4s or you didn't see my Fear Air Jordan 4 review that dropped a couple weeks ago, this shoe first released back in 2013, and this is the first retro of this shoe. In a lot of ways, the colorway of this shoe is sort of a gradient from a white on the outsole up to a black towards the top of the shoe, and then I guess back to white. You've also got a gradient on the midsole, and it's one of those shoes that's so wearable because it's essentially a black, white, and gray sneaker. If you like 4s, this one's awesome. It's got a great history, and it's a great looking pair of shoes. I say if you don't grab it, you're gonna regret it in like a year and a half when maybe the price goes up. We'll see if it actually does. I actually don't know. If you made it this far in the video, let me know in the comment section down below which one of these deals you think is the best. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.